All right, folks, you are watching the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI. Use hashtag Cowboys in the comments section if you want your questions featured live on the show. Just some live Q&A and some mailbag stuff as well here for you guys. We'll start things off with Ethan Davis. Will the Cowboys try to go after Michael Crabtree? You mentioned this one earlier, and we'll break it down again here for you. I like the idea. I don't know, though, if Crabtree and the Cowboys are an ideal fit right now. At minimum, I think there are better ideal fits. I think Crabtree can get more money and more targets and more guaranteed playing time from a different NFL team. The Bills, the Cardinals, about to be instant contenders there. That's more money, more playing time for Crabtree. He's a competitor. In the end, I think that's what he would prefer overall. So Crabtree and the Cowboys make some sense. I just don't know if it's going to end up being the go-to solution there for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I like the idea. Not sure the Cowboys feel the same way. Joe Aragon says he just heard that David Irving was told by coaches not to go back to the facility. Doesn't know if it's true, just wants my thoughts on it. Here's the breakdown with David Irving. He has claimed that he was told not to go back to the facility to stay away, that the Cowboys didn't want him anymore. If that's true, why didn't the Cowboys put him on IR? And beyond that, why would anyone believe David Irving? What has David Irving done in the past calendar year to say, you know what? That's the guy I trust. I believe every word that comes out of his mouth. It doesn't make any sense. So David Irving can claim whatever he wants. He can claim he's good to go and all that. I don't believe him. Unfortunately, just like Randy Gregory, it's no longer worth the effort for David Irving. From, hopefully I get your name right here, Naiz, if that's right. If it's wrong, I'm very sorry there. Producer Brett says it's wrong, but whatever. Why don't we ask Tyron Smith for a pay cut? He just hasn't been elite because of injury, and he's making too much money. I am here. One of my new goals this offseason is to end the Tyron Smith is not elite talk. He is elite. Look at what he's done over the past couple of years. 1 sack this year, 3 sacks in 2017, 2 in 2016, and 5 back in 2015. Yes, the injuries are a valid concern. When he plays, Tyron Smith is still good. And yeah, there were 10 penalties. I think we both know a lot of those were some BS calls. When he is on the field, Tyron Smith remains an impact player. And in terms of the money side of it, dude, Tyron's not getting paid. He is the 7th highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL. That's a steal. Tyron's actual value is probably like 16, 17 million along the lines of Taylor Lewan. When he signed his deal, he went way under market. Tyron Smith cost a lot of other dudes money with the contract he signed because it set the market, and it was way lower than what it needed to be. So for Tyron, I'm not approaching with a pay cut. I'm going to stick with the way it is, and if his back flares up again, we can focus on a pay cut later, or at that point, maybe just outright cutting him. So I am saying no to a pay cut for Tyron Smith. All right, folks, all of the comments here from today's mailbag come from our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. So make sure you're subscribed. News, rumors, NFL draft coverage, free agency, and fan-led content like our mailbag and our fan rumors. So go subscribe today, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. If you're watching on Facebook and on YouTube, well, just hit that big red button. Make sure you're subscribed. From Manny Fresh 769, are the Cowboys underestimating Cole Beasley's importance to the offense? Very good question. I kind of think that, yeah, maybe they are. I think that Cole should be used more. I think that Cole Beasley gets open consistently, and with Linehan gone, I'd love to see him get more involved because, look, we know that, yes, you can look at multiple receivers and go through your reads, but certain plays are still designed to go to certain players. You're drawing up plays to get guys open. Cowboys didn't use that all that often with Cole Beasley, at least not consistently. Late in games they did. I like Cole Beasley a lot. I would consider paying him. I think in the end, though, he's going to end up going elsewhere with the Cowboys to get more playing time, more guaranteed targets, and more money overall in the end. So that's kind of where I feel overall when it comes down to Cole Beasley. Now with receiver, what should Dallas do? Type R if you want to re-sign Cole, type D for draft somebody, or F for a free agent. Let me know in the comment section. If it's draft or free agent, feel free to shout out a particular name you have in mind as well. We'll stick with Manny here again. He says, with Dak at times having issues reading the field, would it be easier for the offense to use more stacked wide receiver sets so we can focus on one side of the field? I don't even focus on the reading the field side of things. I would love to see more bunch receiver looks. That's a good idea. The Cowboys do not use enough bunch-style receiver sets, and I pray that Kellen Moore brings in more of that formation. Quicker passes, rub and pick plays work for every team in the NFL, and the Cowboys don't use it anywhere near enough. It's not about the field vision for me. That's just good scheme. So if I'm the Cowboys, I make sure that I run more bunch sets, get 3 receivers over there, put Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and heck, even put Zeke out there in a bunch set. You'll have success with that formation. I hope that's something we see going forward for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, Val with a question that's kind of funny. If we ignore the logic, listen to some outlandish segments of the fan base, how would the Cowboys do with Romo as head coach, Foles at quarterback, Van Der Esch dealt for Mr. Big Chest, a.k.a. Antonio Brown, pay Bell to be the backup running back and slot receiver, and trade for Jalen Ramsey? Overall, I think you're worse. Because LVE for Antonio Brown is bad. I don't want to overpay for Le'Veon Bell. Nick Foles is not as good as Dak Prescott. I have no idea how good Tony would be as a head coach. I like the idea of Ramsey, but you get to a lot to get him. So no, in the end, you end up getting worse. Now, we'll get to some more comments here. But first, what should I do, guys, during my bachelor party? It's coming up this weekend here in Dallas. What should I do? All suggestions, just be warned, YouTube does auto-block certain phrases and words. So make it the PG version of whatever you're suggesting that I do during my bachelor party. All right, next up from John Rosner. This is in reference to the community post of having Byron Jones jumping. Says he jumped for that when he was a freshman in high school. He's not impressed. Now, if you're confused, here's the video. Byron Jones setting the world record broad jump at 12 plus inches there. You're telling me you set the world record broad jump there, John? I don't believe you. Now, maybe you're kidding and you're being funny. If so, well done. That's quite funny. If you're not, you're a liar. Because there is no way that you set the world record broad jump in high school. Absolutely no way, my friend. All right, Ben M. Any players on the roster you would prefer to trade away for picks? Well, I'm glad I didn't go with this one because we don't have to change everything. I was going to say maybe Taco Charlton. Probably not now with Randy Gregory suspended. Instead, I'd look at defensive back. Doesn't mean you have to. I think in general you're probably not going to make any trades there. But I think defensive back makes some sense for the Cowboys, all right? You have Byron Jones, Ouzier, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis. I love those 4 players overall. The problem is you can't keep all of them. So if you get a great offer for Anthony Brown, I'd consider trading him. Because at some point, I think you lose him in free agency because he'll get more money from somebody else. If you can get a 3rd or a 4th round pick back in this year's class, with now a new need at defensive end, I think it makes some sense. But in general, I'm not sure you're going to see players get traded away by the Cowboys because now they're a little bit thinner in other key areas. Film production, speaking of trades, do you see Dallas moving with the Raiders to get into the 1st round? Gruden loves a trade, and yes, Dallas has traded a lot with the Oakland Raiders. If the Cowboys weren't picking 58th overall, I'd say maybe. The problem is the cost to get from 58 to 27, a full 30 picks, it's a lot. Here's about what it would cost per the trade value chart. Your 2nd this year, your 2nd next year, your 3rd, and a 5th round pick. That's a lot. That's too much for me. That's trading away, in theory, 3 potential starters and a depth player for a 1st round pick. Now, maybe you consider it more since you need pass rush help, but I don't think it makes much sense there for the Dallas Cowboys. I think in the end, they end up saying no. Caleb Costello, if Dexter Lawrence, Andy Isabella, or Irv Smith fall to number 58 overall, rank them 1 to 3 on who we should take and why. Great question. I like all 3 of those guys. I'm going to rank them Irv Smith, Andy Isabella, Dexter Lawrence. Kind of a 1A, 1B there. I think Isabella and Irv just a little bit better overall players. And finally, Ethan Tyra. I've done quite a few mock drafts, and I'm seeing a lot of Tyree Jackson falling to round 4. With 2 picks in the 4th, could the Cowboys go Patriots and draft a high-risk, high-reward quarterback in the later round, or will it send the wrong message to Dak Prescott? Well, speaking of mock drafts, by the way, folks, I will have my own mock draft. Stay tuned for that, so make sure you're subscribed, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. I don't think Dak cares about the message in terms of drafting somebody else, but I think the issue is that you now need a defensive end too. With only 6 picks, doesn't make much sense to invest in another quarterback. You probably got to look elsewhere with so few picks and multiple needs for the Cowboys this year. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.